Hello there and welcome back to another gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free baking video. How are we doing today? Today I'm going to be making some Deathly Hallows Sugar Cookies since it is Harry Potter's birthday next week, and of course they are going to be gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free. You will be needing the following equipment: some scales, some baking paper, 2 cookie sheets or baking trays, some spray oil, a spatula, 1 large mixing bowl, a wooden spoon or electric hand whisk, a rolling pin, a chopping board, although this is completely optional, it's just because I don't have a kitchen worktop. Now, since I don't have a triangular cookie cutter, I'm actually using a printout of the Deathly Hallows sign. This will also help with the design as well. It may be an idea to laminate it, but since I don't have one, I'm coping with this today. And you can make this whatever size you like. A kitchen knife, a palette knife, and finally a cooling rack. You will also be needing the following ingredients: 113 grams of butter softened, I like to use lactofree butter, 113 grams of caster sugar, half a medium-sized egg beaten, I will show you how to do this in just 1 second, 265 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour plus extra for rolling, and finally for your decoration you will be needing either a black edible ink pen or some black piping icing. So, let's go! So to half your egg, the first thing we are going to do is put our new bowl that our egg is going to go into our scales and set that to 0. Well, turn it on and set it to 0, which mine now is. Now I'm going to tip all of this egg into this bowl. Behave. So that's at 49 grams. That is not an equal measurement, so it's not helpful, because half of 40 is 20, half of 9 is 4.5. So I'm going to go 24, 25, round about that number. So I'm now going to take this bowl out of my scales, put my original bowl back in and set my scales to 0, which they now are. And now I'm going to tip this egg, well, half of this egg back into this bowl to equal 24, 25 grams. 24, bang on the money. So now that this is all done, place it off to the side until we're ready to use it. First things first, measure out and prepare all of your ingredients so that they're completely ready for you to use, and then preheat your oven to 180 degrees C on a conventional oven, 160 degrees C on a fan oven, or gas mark 4. So now that that is all done, we are now going to prepare our baking trays or cookie sheets. So for this we will be needing our baking trays or cookie sheets, our baking paper and our spray oil. So now we are going to measure our baking paper to the size of our cookie sheet, and now you can either use scissors or you can do what I'm doing, which is just tear it off. Now I'm going to give it a quick spritz with some spray oil, just so that while I'm finished doing the batter, it will it will keep the baking paper stuck down. Place that on top. Spread it so that it sticks, and that is it. So finish the other one and then set them off to the side until we're ready to bake. So now that we've done all that nasty prep work, it is now time to begin actually making our cookies. So for this we will be needing our wooden spoon or electric hand whisk, our large mixing bowl, our spatula and all of our ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is add all of my butter to my mixing bowl. Followed by our caster sugar, and now we're going to beat these together until they are light and fluffy. So now that that is all done, we are going to add our half an egg, and now we're going to beat this lot together until it is a nice smooth batter. So now that that is all done, we are finally going to add all of our flour. So now we're going to beat this lot together until it is really well combined, but just before I finish completely mixing it, I'm going to scrape around the sides of the bowl and bring it all together a bit more with my spatula, because it does go a bit crumbly. If you want to avoid it going crumbly, you can add the flour a little bit at a time at mixing all the time, but it's personal preference. This I find is a lot quicker and I like quickness. So now let's just get on with mixing it. Come on, off you get. Okay, so now that that's done that, I'm just going to scrape around the sides of my bowl. Without dropping it everywhere would be a good idea, so that I lose as little as possible to the washing up. And see, it went all crumbly, but now as I start to bring it together with my spatula, it does form the dough ball. I think that's the right term. So now I'm just going to whisk it one more time for good luck. So now that all the mixing's done, I'm just going to bring it together with my spatula to equal the cookie dough ball. There we go, perfect. Cookie dough. So now it is time to roll out our dough. So for this we will be needing our rolling pin, our extra flour, and a chopping board if you need something to roll your dough out on. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I've got this lot is just flour my work surface. You can do this with icing sugar, but I haven't done it with flour in a long time and I thought I'd change things up. Okay, so that's that done. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of flour to my rolling pin as well, so that's all ready for me. There we go. Now the next thing to do is half my dough. This is because it will make it easier to deal with and there's less chance of it drying out over the time of it being rolled and things. That's on there. So now I am going to roll this dough out until it is 1/4 of an inch thick. And now we are going to need our Deathly Hallows design, our prepared cookie sheet or baking tray, our kitchen knife and our palette knife. So now we're going to begin cutting out our Deathly Hallows shapes. So for this we are going to place our Deathly Hallows shape onto our cookie dough. And then slowly, using our kitchen knife, we're just going to cut around that shape. As I say, if you've got a triangle cookie cutter, use that. It will be a darn sight easier than what I'm doing. So they're not going to look absolutely 100% perfect because I've not used a cookie cutter, but I've made the best with what I can do and I think it looks pretty great. So now let's get these moved onto the prepared cookie sheet or baking tray. Just slowly moving my palette knife underneath. There you go, lifting that up. And onto the cookie sheet it goes. So now that this is all done, repeat this with the rest of your dough and then place your cookies into your preheated oven for 14 minutes. After that time, take them out of the oven, placing them onto your cooling rack to cool completely. So now that these have come out of the oven and have had plenty of time to cool, it is now time to do our little design. So I've still got the cutout here. It didn't get ruined by the cookie dough, which is excellent. So I've now got a clear design to work off of. And now you simply just, using your icing, draw it on. So go as quickly or slow as you like. It's completely up to you. But I'm not very good at this, guys, and I'm trying my hardest. Nice and slow. Release pressure. Boop. Nice and slow. Release pressure and boop. I did find that for the triangle it was better to do 3 lines instead of 1 big line because it didn't make it look very good. But it's completely up to you and what you're comfortable with. Release pressure and boom. Okay, so now the line down the middle. Now the circle. Peach, you have to make quite so much noise right now, Dilly. Nice pressure. Get off. There we go. Now, as I say, I'm not the best at decoration, but have a look at that. So repeat this with the rest of your cookies and then serve and enjoy. And that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out everything in the description, as I love it all and wouldn't put it there if I didn't, including the recipe for these lovely cookies and the links to all of the flour and equipment you will need for this recipe. If you do make this at home, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag bakingwithvickiie so that I can see all your lovely creations. Let me know in the comments below of anything else you'd like to see me make, gluten, lactose or yeast free, as I do them all. And finally, don't forget to like, leave a nice comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye!